What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you guys had a wonderful week, and today we are going to be focusing on some relatively small stuff. This is going to be the main focus right here. It is the 6 CD changer, as well as behind it over here we have the amplifier. I don't have any speakers in the car, no radio, so there's no point to have either one of these in here. The weight is in the back. I do want weight in the back because I am a little front heavy at the moment. This can always be canceled out with ballast. I also do have plans to remove things from the front that should also cancel this out. So it's finally time to delete this. Now, as we jump into this, guys, real quick, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I want to know how to take out my amplifier and the car is already disassembled. That does not do me any good. But I did do a video on taking out the trunk liner and all of that stuff. I will have it up there in the corner for you guys, as well as in the description down below. Once you get that step done, it is a series of 8mm bolts, those black ones right there, and then on the amplifier there are 10mm bolts. The bracket is the whole assembly I am taking out right there. That means I need to take out the 10mm on the CD changer and the CD holder and take that out. Then there are some bolts back there behind those, as well as there, and then along the bottom there's 2 there and 2 there. And that will take the whole bracket out. But I'm going to start with those guys right there, those little 8mm. It's a lot colder in here than I thought, so I had to put on a thicker jacket. Hopefully the crinkling noise does not bother you guys. It is just a very cold day. So the CD changer can now shuffle its way out, I do believe. It does feel as if something's holding it in, so I'm going to see if I need to remove this. No, it's still getting caught on something. Okay. There we go. Okay, with all the screws removed and it pulled out, there is just 2 clips on the back here that plug in, so we need to get those unplugged. And then we have the CD changer out. Although it ended up not being necessary to pull this out in order to get out the CD changer, this was actually necessary to pull out because there is a bolt back there that I need to access. Also, I've noticed that this comes in 2 parts. There's this one here, and then there's this piece here, and then they're both bolted to the amplifier, one there and one there. Now, what I've determined is it's going to be easier to take this piece out first and then take out this piece, which does mean I am going to disconnect the amp from the bracket, since the bracket is not one solid piece like I had originally imagined. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove 2 bolts down here, 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there, and then obviously disconnect the amplifier from it. The amplifier is a 10mm, all the rest are the same as this. We're working with 8mm. So it does appear in removing this half of the bracket here, and with all the bolts out, including the amp bolt down there, there is a 3rd hidden bolt. It is right there, you can see it there. And as you can see, there's this fabric that I've had to pull off of it, but it is also 10mm bolts, and that allows this bracket to come out. Now with that whole bracket out of the way, as you can see, this is that little flap that I was talking about right here. Just kind of hid it away behind everything. We're going to go ahead and just finish removing the amplifier so it's out of the way. That's 1 more 10mm bolt. And then, just a little plug. And that is no longer needed. There's 2 bolts here, 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there. Same amount of number of bolts as the other one here, but because this one's no longer here, it's a lot easier to get into this space. So that's why I did it in the order that I did. And then once removing this, there is a retention clip here for holding wires to it. And after you navigate that, there's just these wires hanging onto it here, which are just clipped in. So I do believe that is, let's It's gonna be slide one way or the other. That guy's out. And just so I can explain, this is a slide. I couldn't get it to slide, but there is this little rectangle on the back here. I'll give you a close-up of that. And this little rectangle fits in a little rectangular hole there, and I was able to twist it and pull it out that way. So just for the sake of getting it out, I'm sorry for the autofocus, it's really noisy on this camera. These little guys right here are what the screws went into, where the amp was and the bracket was. So there's a few here, there's 1, 2 there, there's 2 over there, there is 2 right there, and then there's 1 right there and 1 right there. But I'm just gonna go ahead and pull them all off like that, because they're not going to do me any good still in the car, and it just makes the whole thing look a little bit cleaner if you ask me. Now with all of that finally taken care of, we're gonna continue along the amplifier route, because I have 2 things back here I've been considering removing for a while. One of them is that guy right there, and the other one is that guy right there. Now I'll show you on this one because it's a little bit easier to see. You can kind of see right there where it looks to be an antenna. These are both listed as antenna amplifiers, at least from my research. Neither one of them say that they do the coils back here on the rear windshield, which I want removed, so if removing this disables that, that's fine. This one looks like it has wires that go to that, but none of them are listed to do it. They're both, for some reason, antenna amplifiers, but they're both coming out. So unfortunately trying to work in here is a little bit tricky because it's a small space with the roll cage and everything, and it's cold, so I'm wearing these thick jackets. But we're just looking at 2 E45 Torx that I see that holds this on, and then obviously all of the plugs that go to it. Turns out I didn't bring the right tools in here with me. I need a 90 and I have to crawl out of the roll cage to go get it. Try to make sure you have all the right tools the first time, but sometimes you just screw up. So now that it's off, I'm going to take out the top clip first, just to get it out of the way. And then we've got our antenna, which wasn't screwed in at all. And then just some more connectors on it. And that is antenna adapter 1, I guess. Out of the way. Now antenna adapter 2 looks to be pretty simple. It's 1 E25 Torx. And then it's free with a series of 5 plugs on it. 3 plugs, I don't know why I said 5. And there is antenna amplifier number 2. Now I'm very cramped in here right now behind the roll cage, and I'm very much so looking forward to getting out. And I didn't actually intend on doing it, but because I don't want to come back here again, at least not for a while, these are actually the motor protectors, so the motor's under here for the windows here. Now I don't have these hooked up, and I don't intend to hook them back up, but they do keep the window in, so they are needing to stay with the motors. But the seat belt no longer goes over the motors anymore, so while I'm back here, I'm going to remove both of these. It's 2 10mm bolts right on top, so they should be pretty simple. And now with those removed, the motor is mounted with the same 10mm bolts, so I do have to reattach them, but the bracket will save me a little bit of weight. That was a lot of work for a very small amount of weight savings. And by small amount of weight savings, I am specifically talking about those components right there. The amp's actually going to be a significant amount, but man, crawling behind that roll cage, I thought I was young. That is all of that taken out. Now I am going to be doing another video here shortly about all of the tiny little things that I have to do to the race car in order to get it prepped to put the seat and the dashboard back in. So I'm going to save that for a separate video, not to waste the time of the people who are here to figure out how to get an amp uninstalled. So that's going to be saved for a video of race car updates for those who want to see that kind of content. Enough with my rambling. It is cold outside. I want to get inside where it's going to be a lot warmer. I'm going to go ahead and throw over in that corner over there how much weight came out of the car. That's mostly going to be weight coming out of the amplifier and the CD changer as well as this bracket, and not so much the weight coming out of the back part of the car in the seat area. That was just going to be a few ounces at best. If you guys like the content, maybe consider liking and subscribing down below if you want to see more content. I do regular videos on car and racing stuff as a whole, so subscribe to see more of that. And as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.